So, you were saying earlier all matters. Does size matter to you at all?
Hey guys, it's Hink here, and holy moly, I mean, this is one of the worst videos and one of the most ignorant and just bad takes of a lot of these videos that I've seen. And guys, I'm plugged into this stupid ass algorithm where I get these videos in my feed now, so I hope you appreciate them. So just take a second, give a thumbs up right now, but let's get into it. And so this is a video about Ebony Mystique. Believe it or not, I actually don't know who she is. And guys, I am familiar with some of the corn industry. Hashtag my favorite is Lena Paul. I mean, whatever, guys. I'm just being real with you. But this chick says some of the most unbelievable stuff that I have ever heard in my life. So strap in, let's go.
So, you were saying earlier all matters. Does size matter to you at all?
Not necessarily. Size matters to my fans, for me. But literally, all get hard and it grows. So my thing is to watch that girl, you know? So I feel like if you come here soft, you're going to leave hard, and that's it.
So guys, here you have it right here. She talks about off the rip, all D's matter, okay? Which is kind of funny, but she's not talking about oh no, only the big ones matter. She's like, I like to make people go from, soft to, alert. We have that off the rip. So let's just get that out of the way.
But has the guy ever taken his pants on and you were like, that's not what you were expecting? Sure. That ain't gotta work with.
But my thing again is just to be like, okay, what we doing with this? I know you got something in you. You know, everybody got something in them, and they compensate. Some guys with they know how to eat better than anything. So have something about you that's gonna compensate whatever you lack, I feel like.
Here it was honestly, this is a pretty mature take. She's like, yeah, has a guy pull down his pants, you've been disappointed? And she's like, yeah, but she's not like, oh no, that's a deal breaker, I'm out. She's just like, all right, what are we going to do? We got to figure out a way to make this work. And so I actually applaud this kind of response. And guys, it's true. If you are on the smaller side, maybe you do need to, honestly, I think any guy should learn how to master being a good lover, whether that be foreplay or whether that be doing things like going down.
It's cunnilingus.
But regardless of your size, guys, you need to master your skill. But, if you are along the smaller size, you might want to do more to master those additional skills.
Or they could get some extenders too if they really feeling weird about it. You can get a penile prosthetic. That thing be bigger in a 24 hours type shit.
Damn.
So once again, this is both a great and horrible take at the same time, because she's actually aware that extenders work. Guys, if you haven't seen, I've made countless videos on extenders. I have a whole playlist about it, but it has literally published literature showing that extenders can make your D bigger. Now, she talks about prosthetics, and then she talks about 24 hours. But guys, if you use an extender, it does take on the order of 3 to 6 months before you get any kind of meaningful length, okay? So please watch my other videos on the topics. But she also talks about a prosthetic device to get bigger. That's not how it works. Even Johnny Sins, in the last video I made.
The thing is, you can't make it bigger than it naturally is. You can inflate it, but it's still going to be the same size it always has been.
Knows that prosthetic devices don't actually make you bigger than you otherwise were. They just improve basically a fake erection quality to bring you back to essentially your other size. One thing about penile prosthetic devices is it actually only inflates the corpora, the sides, the corpus cavernosum, not the corpus spongiosum on the other side, on the underside or the head. So oftentimes you have inflated sides, but a deflated head, and another definition of what we call soft gland syndromes. If you haven't seen my video on soft gland syndrome, watch that.
Well, someone who does not need a penis enhancement is Brickzilla. He's been on the bus, but he also has a 13-inch.
Is it 13? That's what he told you?
That's what he told me. He said
he didn't measure it to you? So he don't remember that we did. And it is 13, but he's talking about soft. He's being very, very humble.
Guys, this chick has the audacity to say that Brickzilla, she says, is 13 inches soft.
And it is 13, but he's talking about soft. He's being very, very humble.
This ruler is not even 13 inches. She's saying his D is this long soft. Let's take a look at my forearm here. So that is bigger than literally my forearm, and I'm a 6'5" guy, soft. Jesus Christ, guys. She's a idiot. So is the woman that's doing the reporting. Oh yeah, he's 13 inches soft. That's just a blatant lie. And guys, you guys watching this video are smart enough to know this, but your average person that's watching this video is like, oh, Brickzilla's 13 inches soft?
Don't do the voice.
Yes, I did the voice. But guys, come on, just use some common sense, please.
When that get hard, and he was super duper hard. He was at 15 inches. It was at 15. He gives himself 2 extra inches. That motherfucker is humongous. He's down here. You see how short he is? In person, y'all probably don't know.
Right.
But because that's how camera is. Film make you bigger, taller. But he is not that tall. Right. So he's just been walking around this world with that huge ass just slinging this whole time. And it's like, no, when they get big, like hard, and he's really erected, like real hard, that might grow bigger than 13 for sure.
He did say that.
I mean, like what can you do? But so first of all, she's trying to be like, oh yeah, I'm so good that he gets an additional 2 inches with me. Now, guys, a lot can be said for good erection quality because you can get significant size. I've talked about a study before where they showed that with the use of Viagra, actually, some guys are actually gaining an additional 1.8 centimeters. But guys, he's not 15 inches. All right, Callie, hit him. It's time for another segment of Hink's reality check. All right. And this time it's going to be on Brickzilla. So guys, some of you might be in the comment, Hink, why do you get so mad? I get so mad because, guys, like if you're 5 inches and you think that there's actually a guy out there that's 15 inches, that is going to F with your mind. He's 3 times bigger than you are when you're perfectly normal sized. That's why I get so worked up, because they perpetuate these stupid ass myths and people actually believe it. So just stick with me and use some common sense, guys. Let's just talk about forearm length. Now, I'm going to prove to you that this guy is nowhere near 15 inches using real science. So the average forearm length in women is about 9 inches. On average, when we're talking about basically from the elbow all the way up to the wrist, is about 9 inches. In men, it's about 10 inches, give or take. Most of these actresses in the porn industry are very, very tiny to make the illusion look even more crazy. So if you have a tiny woman, her forearm on average is going to be actually probably closer to like the 7 to 8 inch range. So here is a picture I found on the internet of Liz Jordan, okay? She is 5'4". So she is a petite woman. And obviously, guys, this picture is redacted, but you can see that she is holding up her forearm from the bottom, basically like where Brickzilla's D is, all the way up to the top. And you can clearly see that the D is not bigger than the distance from her forearm. So I just proved to you that on average, the woman's forearm is 9 inches and he is not exceeding that. So we know at max, he's 9 inches. And that's giving her the benefit of the doubt that her forearm is actually 9 inches, which I'd be willing to bet it's actually smaller. But the fact that you here can see that the top of her hand is sticking out and it's not his D up here means, by definition, he's less than 9 inches. So that's just using the forearm. So let's take it a step further. Let's say, no, I think this guy is actually 15 inches hard. So Brickzilla is 5'6" tall. So he's actually fairly short for a man. Shouts out to all my short kinks. So the length of his leg bone, the length of his femur is probably somewhere around 17 inches. So that would mean that by definition, if he's 15 inches in these pictures of him hard, his D should be at least down to his knee. Because on average, guys, when you're talking about the top of the femoral head, which is up here in the hip, compared to where your D is, which is down here, it's typically at least 2 to 3 inches. So that would give him an additional 2 to 3 inches. Guys, here's a picture here. Once again, it's redacted, but you can see that you can not only see his knee, but you can see several inches up his thigh. Because yes, in this picture, this dude's meat is out. And yes, I had to look at all these pictures. So leave a thumbs up. So guys, we just proved again that he's not 15 inches, okay? I mean, like, that is so ungodly huge. Like, I just, guys, that is like this long. I mean, that's like the size of literally my torso and I'm 6'5". Like, use some common sense. So that being said, how big do I actually think he is for all you guys that care? Well, once again, there's a wonderful subreddit. It's called Measured Stars on Reddit, okay? And in this, they actually have a picture that she actually alluded to. She was like, yeah, I actually measured him. So in this picture that she measured, okay, she literally measures by, first of all, measuring along the side, but then she takes it and she measures and she like wraps it around at a diagonal angle like this up at the top. And it isn't starting at 0 down here, okay? And guess what, guys? On that measurement, it's nowhere near 13 inches or 15 inches, okay? I personally think this dude is a legit 9 inches non-bone pressed, which is insanely ungodly, astronomical, like largest on the planet, essentially, okay? I'm not saying he is the one biggest guy. He is within that 1 per like 100 to 200 million guys, okay? So one of the 40 guys on the planet. Now, I will say that my bias is with some of these pictures that I've seen recently, like dude is 5'6". And so when you have a 9-inch hog non-bone pressed and you're 5'6", honestly, it looks like his D is like 17 inches long. Like I can't even front. I'm not even going to cap with you on that. It just looks ridiculous compared to him proportionally. But it doesn't matter, guys. We're scientists. We don't get fooled by like optical illusions. And so if you look on the Reddits, they actually like argue back and forth in the comments. But, you know, some of the people even try to argue that he's like closer to 8. Like, I personally don't think so. I think at least he is about like 8.75 non-bone pressed, but maybe not 9 non-bone pressed, which is like just an astronomically large D. So guys, fortunately, I'm not really seeing this in the comments, but I'm not for a second trying to say that this dude is not absolutely gigantically enormous, okay? That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying this guy is enormous. He is the biggest of the big, okay, or amongst them. But there's a big difference between 15 inches and 9 inches, okay? And that's what I want to bring reality to you for.
His is huge, bro.
Is that the biggest you've ever taken?
It's confusing to me because Dread, we have Dread.
How big is Dread?
I don't know the real size of it, like, but I know BK because we was talking, we figured it out. But as far as Dread, they feel like they compare them too. So I don't know because it's different. BK's big and like curvy. Dread is big and not as thick, but it's big. You know, there's more length to it, not so much girth. So it's just big and different.
So guys, I'm no expert. I'm certainly no like D connoisseur, but like they both look big and they both look like they have a curve in it to me. So I mean, you know, I don't know. I absolutely did not search for like a side-by-side Dread versus Brickzilla. I'm sure it's out there somewhere, guys. And I pray that you don't know, number one, who these guys are, and number two, you don't go looking for it. But yeah, both these guys are insanely big. If you haven't seen the video that I made about Dread, you need to check that out because he's another one where they actually like measured, and because there's actually a measurement picture, and I'll have Callie put the redacted picture up here again, where like it basically shows that there's a measurement done. He is about 8.5 non-bone pressed, okay? So honestly, like right around that Brickzilla range, non-bone pressed, which is unbelievably, ungodly, ridiculously huge.
Would you say that a curve feels better on than without a curve?
That's a good question. It hits walls differently. I feel like the curve, because it's a curve. So of course it's like hitting it. Like the straight is just like bow, bow, bow. So you kind of got to move to get it. Oh wow, this butt shakes. You got to move with it when you do it. But like a curve is already like a hook.
So guys, I mean, like we've heard this before, or at least I've heard this before in a couple of the other videos I made, including that video where the girls actually like make the models they want. One of them literally talks about how their ideal size is like basically like a cucumber with a curve in it. And it's like, okay, so, you know, apparently guys, like anatomically speaking, she's trying to say that like it might hit some of the spots like the G spot because of the curve, the way it hits the walls. I mean, I don't have a curve. I have no problem delivering pleasure myself. But I mean, I have heard that guys have a curve and it's preferred. And so if you do have a curve, you know, more power to you. Maybe leave a comment below if you have a curve and that you've noticed a big improvement in the quality of your sexy time.
Damn, I'm getting excited. It's the hook in there, so. Yeah, no, I feel like her help hit that chord. Hit that chord is just crazy because that's when you. And people be like, how do you do that? It's literally the connection at that time because every woman can. But I'm more surprised that there's so many women who haven't yet.
Maybe you can get a little like squirting lesson tutorial online.
It's pretty much, there you go again. You need your time by yourself. It's very important to masturbate because is a female ejaculation. Right. We're not talking about urine. It comes from the same area, but it's a different gland. All you got to do again is study anatomy. Right. So definitely squirt.
What she's saying here, part of it is correct, part of it is not, okay? Like, you know, I don't know how many of you guys are like porn watchers or have had personal experience, but so there's two different things that we're talking about when it comes to basically female face painting. Let's just leave it at that, okay, for YouTube purposes, okay? There is an actual ejaculate, which is more like a thicker and like a whiter, almost like creamier. Hopefully that's not disgusting to you guys. Literally like secretion that can come at the time of a big O. But there is also basically squirting, okay? Now, they have actually done studies, and I'll have Callie put like the link to one of the Healthline articles where they actually did a full analysis, and the squirting, like the really liquid stuff that's like a clear fluid, it literally is diluted urine. It comes from the bladder. It's hard to say which one she's actually talking about because it makes it sound like she's talking about squirting and she's like, no, it comes from a gland. Like, yes, there is an ejaculate that comes from something called the Skene's glands. Guys, if you want me to break down like the female big O in a video, like leave a thumbs up and leave a comment below that you want me to make that video. But when we're talking about like actually like spraying and like the shower that you might see on some of these videos, that basically is diluted urine. So she's actually incorrect there and doesn't understand anatomy, even though she kind of claims to. And then she's talking about like the G spot, but then she's also talking about the like clitoral area, but she's kind of talking about them like one and the same. Obviously, like the G spot is thought to be part of like the clitoral network, okay? But when we're talking about like the head of the clitoris, it's very different from like the G spot, which is located on like the anterior surface of like the proximal 1/3 of the vagina. Anyways, guys, that's going to do it for this video. Please let me know what you think. Like, do you think that there are actually guys out there that are 15 inches long? Hashtag Matt Barr. If you know, you know. Let me know if you want me to make a video about Matt Barr. Shouts out to Ben from Mail Hanger, who suggested that I make a video about that guy, and I probably will just because I like Ben. But yeah, guys, that's going to do it for this video. Please understand that this industry promotes these lies to make you think that these guys are bigger than you could ever possibly be, to maintain this illusion of the entertainment industry, because it is entertainment, guys. Please don't be fooled. And remember, you are so much more than the size of your D. If after watching me tell you countless times that the average D size is about 5 inches and you still want to get bigger, guys, of course, just subscribe to this channel and watch my other content where I take you through in a science-based manner. But of course, my enlargement course is available where I take you through step by step in a very organized and linear fashion that might be easier and more time efficient for some people. But remember, guys, there's nothing wrong with self-improvement, but you are enough just as you are. All right, guys, peace and love.
Dr. Hink got the plug on the health, yeah. Got you thinking about your wealth, yeah. In his office, no stealth, yeah. Pinnacle of that below the belt, yeah. Checks and balance, he's managing. Working miracles, no damage. Got you covered, no panicking. Steady calm. In the clinic, no vanishing. Yeah, with Doc Hink, it's the way back.